welcome to the Ascension Academy podcast. I am your host, Tumai, and we also have
Audrey here, your other host, and this is episode 2 for season 1. During the season, we are focusing on essential oils and exploring all things health and wellness when using Mother Nature's signature aromas.
That's right. A little bit about me. I am your dedicated breath facilitator and coach, helping you raise awareness within your own body and your breathing mechanics.
And a little bit about me. I'm your in-house aromatherapist and essential oil coach, and I'm here to help you gain some insight into the incredible power and potential that Mother Nature has available in her toolbox.
Now, today's podcast title is The Speed of Delivery with Essential Oils Throughout Each System of the Human Body. I mean, today counting, we have anywhere between 11 to 12. Sometimes people even say that there are 13 systems in total inside of the human body. And what if I told you that essential oils penetrate each system extremely quickly? What would that mean to you? How would that help and enable you to apply and perhaps implement essential oils on a day-to-day basis and into your lifestyle for you, your family, and your loved ones? Right, Audrey?
Good one, yep. So let's unpack today's topic.
Right. For those of you that are listening inside of Spotify or inside of Apple, this is the audio. So we're going to do our best to describe verbally for you. For those that are watching the video, perhaps you're watching it on our website or you're a part of our Facebook Ascension Academy members group, and you get first live preference to this podcast as we go live. Feel free to ask questions inside of the comment box. It'll come right through. I'll be checking it throughout this podcast, and I'll be able to sort of ask those questions of our in-house aromatherapist, Audrey. But we've got some key parts that we're going to cover today. So some of the areas we'll cover are the speed of delivery and its effectiveness, number one. We'll also cover the 3 elements that enable essential oils to be fast acting, to move swiftly through the body. We'll get Audrey's perspective, her insights into what this all means. Like, how is that applicable to you? And I'll be asking some questions back and forth. For those that are listening, we also do a masterclass on this particular topic. We go over the aromatherapy masterclass. It's coming up in the next 2 weeks or so. I believe it's on the 11th of November, 2023. We only have 50 seats left available. So on our website, you'll be able to register. You'll hear more about that throughout today's episode number 2. So first off, I wanted to get Audrey to introduce us to maybe her starting story around essential oils and aromatherapy. Like, how did it all start with you, and what was your first interaction with essential oils?
Yeah, that's a great question. So let's go back, rewind the clock a little bit. And my first foray into the world of essential oils, I think it's at a very young age when I was growing up in Western Australia, and my mum had tea tree oil in her first aid kit. And I'm sure many people here can relate to having that. It's a perennial favorite. But from a very young age, I was exposed to herbs and Mother Nature's solutions to a lot of everyday remedies to remedy everyday situations. But, you know, there were many years that went by that I had lost touch with Mother Nature and all those natural remedies, and went off and lived in the big cities. But it wasn't until about 8 or 9 years ago that I came back full circle to essential oils. And, we go around shops and we see them everywhere, right? Bottles of essential oils in every shop, whether it be a fragrance, whether it be an essence. But I tried a few things and thinking that they would help remedy some situations, but they did nothing, but they smelled really good. And so I dropped that idea, and it wasn't until, one day I decided to try it up again. And lo and behold, found myself, after some research, some really effective essential oils. And upon opening that first bottle of peppermint, I nearly fell off my chair because it was so potent just by smelling that aroma. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And there, your journey started when using essential oils. Now, was that your first interaction with Young Living's essential oils, or was that just peppermint in general?
No, that was Young Living's one.
Okay.
And I mean, we've all smelt peppermint oil before, you know. So I didn't even know what real pure essential oil of peppermint should smell like. In my mind, it smelled like candy cane at Christmas time, right? So I got a bit of a surprise when I opened that bottle and took a deep breath.
Right.
Yeah.
I know I find when talking to my group of guys about essential oils, I actually start with peppermint because it's the most potent and powerful, quick acting one for them to realize, like, I guess, the therapeutic grade or the full profile of Mother Nature. It doesn't just smell nice, but you have like all of the different, almost like it has the smell of soil too inside of all of the essential oils, which means that it has the full profile. It's not just all of the nice fragrances.
It's very earthy and robust. Yeah, if you can imagine going out to the garden and picking a piece of peppermint leaf up and rubbing it between your fingers, what would that smell like?
Yeah, right. That's great. So then obviously peppermint is used as a really good example, and we can use it in this case when it comes to speed of delivery.
Yeah.
Talk us through what is happening the minute that peppermint is moved from the plant to the essential oil bottle through distillation and then into our pockets or our hands, and then that exact aroma moves through our olfactory system or through the sense of smell, and it hits the limbic brain. What is happening within the first 30 seconds? And what is happening within the next 60 to 90 to 5 minutes? Take us through a bit of that process.
So great question, Tumai. So you were saying, how does that process look like from the plant all the way to the bottle and then into our nose, right?
I guess so. Well, many people don't understand that everything's moved from. They think about essential oil and they don't think about the plant as well, and its signature.
Yeah.
So I want to be able to bring the signature of peppermint into the entire process and into the bottle and into our nose.
Yeah, wow. Okay. So when you think about that peppermint plant and rubbing it between your finger and releasing that essence into your finger and into your olfactory, it happens really quickly. Like you can imagine it's almost instantaneous that you can smell those aroma molecules. And so what happens is when you can preserve all those aroma molecules, every single element or compound that makes up that essential oil, and go through the process of distilling it, steaming it in a distillery and under very specific conditions, and then having that essential oil condensed back into a bottle and bottling that up and keeping it contained in that bottle in its pure form, and then delivering it to your home where you crack it open and smell it. There's very little difference, I would say. It should be very little difference between the plant and what you smell and what's in your bottle, except that when you smell that aroma from the bottle, it's hundreds of times more potent, obviously, right? So that's why we talk about making sure that the integrity of the plant is intact, and also making sure nothing man-made comes in touch with that. Because can you imagine if there was pesticides used on that plant, that compound will be distilled as well and concentrated in your bottle. So it's really important that it's in its purest form. Yeah, and then that going in through your olfactory we'll talk about in a bit.
That's what I wanted to know. I wanted to move on to the next part. So now it's moving from the bottle into the nose and the sense of smell. It hits the olfactory system, and then within a half a second, it enters the limbic brain. And I want to get a better understanding from you and your perspective as to what's happening in the limbic brain with essential oils such as peppermint.
Right. Okay, so when you first inhale that aroma, just like anything, whether it be any aroma, you can imagine how quickly your brain perceives that aroma. So with the peppermint molecules, the aroma molecules, what happens is it actually interacts with your smell receptors in your olfactory, in your nose. It communicates with that, and that sends an electrical impulse directly to your brain, where your limbic brain then interprets that peppermint aroma and also interprets its chemical constituents, right? It elicits a particular response in the body. So every oil you smell is going to have a different response in the limbic brain, which is really, really fascinating. So that's why I think smell and the aroma molecules of essential oils can be so effective in supporting your limbic brain, which is the center of your emotions.
Yeah, that's great. Great understanding and unpacking the responsibility of the limbic brain in direct connection to the other parts of our brain, and I guess overall the entire system, the human body.
Yeah.
Now, there's so many questions here that I want to go through, especially when it comes to the three elements that make essential oils fast moving or how it swiftly moves through the body. I might get you to unpack those three first. So Audrey, what are the three elements that make essential oils swift in its interaction with the body?
Yep, great question. So the three main elements that make essential oils really swift in its uptake and in its movement into and throughout the body is number one, its volatility, right? Number two, its molecular size. And number three, it is a fat lover.
Great. Take us through volatility. What does that mean? Unpack that a bit.
Let's unpack. What does it mean when we say essential oils are volatile? Well, volatility just means its ability to evaporate quickly into our atmosphere. And that's why it moves up swiftly through our olfactory system and directly to our limbic brain, the part of the brain that is in control of emotions and memories and many other functions of the body. So it's really quick in its movement through the atmosphere. And that's why essential oils are so useful and in its how effective it is in addressing emotional response. And that's why it's really important.
Yeah, great. And then unpack the molecular size and why that's important.
Right. So without getting too sciencey, the molecular size of essential oils are really important in ensuring that the uptake of essential oils is fast because of its minute size. So molecular size in essential oil terminology is actually measured in something called the atomic mass unit, but we're just going to leave it there. We're not going to go too deep into that. The AMU, that just describes the size of the molecule and its ability to move through even the blood-brain barrier, right? So the blood-brain barrier is this barrier that protects our brain from the outside world. It's really, really picky as to what it allows into the brain through the bloodstream. So the molecular size makes it very effective in reaching the brain. Yeah.
That's a really nice description and a really tight way to explain molecular size. I know that's going to be one of the main points that we can focus on with the conversation going forward. But I do also want to talk about essential oils being a lipid lover or more or less attracted to fats and why that's important in terms of the uptake into the body.
So the other aspect of essential oils that makes it so speedy and in its movement through the body is that it is a lipid lover. It's as opposed to being lipophobic. So it loves fats. And that's important to understand because our body and our organs, including our brain and including the skin, is covered in a layer of lipids, fats. So like attracts like, and the essential oil molecules love it. So in that way, there is this symbiotic relationship. It just moves through those layers of fats really quickly to access your bloodstream and access the inside of your organs or your cells. Even cells actually have a coating of lipids.
Yeah, right. So just to summarize, the three most important elements to understand when it comes to the speed of delivery of essential oils. Number one, volatility. Number two, size. And number three, lipid lover is what
Yep.
you like to call it, right?
Yep.
Or maybe it's just it's attraction to
Lipophilic.
lipophilic is
Yeah.
the technical term.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So those are the three keys. Now, if, for example, when it comes to application, we want to slow down the release into the body, can we talk about why we would want to do that application-wise? I know that essential oils can move quickly,
Yes.
but I do also know that when you're helping me implement or use essential oils, you also like to explain that it's important to slow down the release or apply it in certain areas of the body to use a coconut oil in combination with it or so on. So can you explain that a little bit more?
Sure. So, how to slow down the movement of essential oils into our body, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a great question. So, we use essential coconut oil or carrier oil, anything that's organic and cold pressed, usually a nut or a seed, creates that carrier oil. That helps to slow down actually the evaporation of the essential oil and also to facilitate the absorption of the essential oil molecules into the skin. But if you're talking about slowing the rate of absorption, it just depends on which part of the body you apply it to, because we use essential oils topically and we use it aromatically, the two main ways of using essential oils. And so there's different parts of your body that will absorb essential oils at a different rate. And one of the favorite places for us to apply essential oils is at the bottom of your feet. Now, there's no real scientific experiments to explain why that is, but it is kind of fat and cushiony, right, at the bottom of the feet. And so I feel like the uptake is slower. It could be to do with the size of the molecules, I'm not sure, but that is a favorite place to apply it. Thicker skin, perhaps. So if you apply essential oils to thinner areas of your skin or closer to, say, your lymph nodes, where they're close to your skin, or your pulse points, then absorption is going to be quite rapid, right? Yeah.
Thanks for that. Yeah, that's a really good insight. I want to also point out when it comes to speed that some of the experts just recently, or when we were researching the topic, Dr. Cole Woolley came out and he said, quotation marks, breathing in vapors of lavender or of peppermint essential oil will cause an immediate response by your body, mind, and emotions through your body's autonomic nervous system. So when we are talking about size, it is so small that the signature of Mother Nature, her fingerprint, her full print, moves aromatically or through diffusion into the nose and into the limbic brain, instantly affecting the autonomic nervous system. For example, he also went on and said that inhaling geranium would take 5 seconds for your brain frequencies to rapidly slow down, and it will take 5 seconds for your emotions to shift to serene, peaceful, and positive.
Yeah.
That's really fascinating when some of the experts that spend most of their time researching essential oils, and in particular, we isolate speed of delivery. I've found that this is really important to realize application-wise and understand what's happening with the sense of smell.
Yeah, and I think it's really important point to note that in nature, right, the plants have this ability to release its aromatic signature for a reason, right? Usually plants in the forest or in any sort of natural setting, there's a reason why they have to release that aroma quickly, whether it be to protect itself, to send some sort of signal or message out into its environment. It's for survival, right? It could be for communication as well, like one plant communicating with another plant, right? Because they don't talk to each other, but they have to talk to each other in some way, communicate in some way, and sense of smell is one of them. Yeah.
I think the part that I love here and that I want to go into a little bit more detail, although you don't study the chemistry, I've always found it, from my own personal view, really fascinating to read books from some of the first, say, alchemists that were discovering chemistry. It wasn't labeled that at the time, but they were almost practicing what they called alchemy, and they always found that any product that they distilled down, the piece of timber this table is made out of, a metal, gold,
Insects?
insects to plants to any material. Like they found that it always distilled down to three core basics, and they call them the core tenets or the core principles in all physical material world. And it always landed on those three things. And you can see these three things kind of in all of the animal kingdom, through to the plant kingdom, through to the periodic table that we learned in high school. Now, to explain to listeners that are listening to the podcast, right, Audrey, if we take, say, for example, a complex essential oil, let's say in Young Living's line, they have digize as one to assist and support our belly and our gut. Can we talk about the complexity of the chemistry and its shapes there a little bit, just so that those that are interested in understanding it, they can get some insights from you on that?
Yeah. I'll try and explain how the chemistry of essential oils works without being too scientific, because I'm not a scientist myself. But I know that the blends that some essential oils are made of, they come from various botanicals, and each plant has its own range or signature or makeup of constituents, which contribute to its unique aroma, and it contributes to its unique therapeutic action, right? And so with the blend digize, I forget how many plants are in that one, maybe 7 or...
Yeah, so I'll name them. So the actual plant that they have inside of digize is tarragon. It has ginger. Mm-hmm. It has peppermint. It has juniper. It also has lemongrass. And we also have like our... it has the Latin words for it, but I want to try to muck up the pronunciation. It has anise.
So it has about 6.
And it has patchouli.
7 different botanicals.
Right. And what we did was, when we were researching and looking into digize, we found that if we just took and isolated one of the plants, say patchouli, for example, which is rich in sesquiterpenes, patchoulol, up to 35% of it, you can see the chemistry. Like they've shown us the chemistry inside of the plant, and there's probably, what I'm looking at on my screen is anywhere between 9 to 12 different chemical shapes.
Those are just the key ones.
Yep.
Yeah. So there's quite a lot of compounds, constituents in one botanical that contribute to its therapeutic action. And so that explains why they're so complex. And so by combining 7 of each one, say even if each plant had at least 15 constituents, and that's really being very conservative, you've got 7 of them. And there's so much science and research that goes into discovering its beautiful synergy and what can happen when you combine all these compounds. It's like a little bit of a scientific experiment, right? When you're in school and you're combining all these things into your glass beaker to see what will happen. Well, it's similar to, it's pretty much the same with the essential oil world. It's this beautiful synergy with all these compounds coming together to create an effect that you might not normally experience if you just picked one botanical, right? So it has these unique benefits that come out of that combination.
For those of you that are watching the video or inside of our membership group, they showing on screen the different ingredients. This is tarragon, for example, and this is the chemical shape, that the key shapes that tarragon has inside of it. Now, as I click on through, if you've been listening to any of our classes or listening to any of the previous episodes, you'll notice that the importance or the emphasis that we put on synergy and how there is nothing taken out. There's nothing put in, nothing man-made, and nothing synthetic. That Mother Nature is complex in all of her ways and the shapes that she creates, and also simple, making her extremely powerful and potent in just a unique way. Untouchable by us and our scientists. It's really, we're just looking through a glass lens or a window into her capabilities. So I'm clicking through. This is, I believe, juniper. This is lemongrass. These are some of the key constituents here. Limonene, you can see there. A lot of people are, and nerol is some of the popular ones. Now, each shape here, when they are communicating together in a synergistic manner, it creates a very unique signature or communication line to pass on to the human body. Why is that important? Well, it's important because when we're able to distinguish using an essential oil from your everyday store versus an essential oil that has been studied, implemented, researched, and ensured that the integrity is held together, you can see the level of impact that it would have on the entire human body, each system, from the skeletal system to the muscular system, through to the organs, through to the nervous system, through to the blood. Every part gets impacted by the molecular size and the energetic signature that is carried on from Mother Nature's plants into the human body. And no wonder essential oils move so fast. No wonder they have such an impact. And no wonder they're able to restore and harmonize the body at such a unique level.
And what this brings to mind is, like, it reminds me of soldiers, like tiny little soldiers working together throughout your body very effectively. Not each of them knows its role. Each of them knows which cell or which receptor site to attach to. It just magically goes to work and penetrates every single organ, every single cell, potentially every single system.
Great. So, Audrey, in your view, what are the most exciting and promising areas of research or developments in the field of essential oils and their rapid movements within the body? What are people researching out there?
Yeah. So what are some of the most exciting and promising areas of research when it comes to essential oils and its applications today? These are some really interesting things that I found online, published medical journals by scientists. You can find them on PubMed. And they're doing a lot of research now into increasing the effectiveness of or uptake of essential oils when combined with drugs. Let me repeat that. They actually increase the uptake of drug delivery into the body when they're combined with essential oils. So it's really interesting area of study. They've always also exploring how essential oils can help livestock in terms of using antibiotics in livestock to help animals, right? And they've discovered that being able to combine antibiotics and essential oils means that the uptake is faster and more effective. It's more bioavailable to the animal. So it's really interesting how many things are being researched now because of how useful essential oils is when it comes to bioavailability and uptake.
Yeah, great insights, Audrey. Thanks for that. Now, for those that are listening, we're going to go through a few more extra questions. We're almost there. But if you're wanting to find out more, if you're having and finding a lot of value out of this particular conversation, well, guess what? We're going to continue the conversation in a masterclass. This masterclass is designed in a way that enables you to both communicate, comprehend, and use essential oils almost at the expert level without having to go study for 8 years like Audrey has done. She's found out a way to be able to distill the main parts of her practice, of her field, and to enable you to understand it instantly, just like that. And we find when we're able to close the gap on the information, we live in the information age current day, if we're able to close that gap for you, that's going to completely change not only your life, but many other people that you might be able to help in your immediate social circle, your sphere. Now, why is this important? We've worked with many clients and we've found that even if they end up buying like a premium starter kit at the investment level of $260 to $270 just to get started, and you get all of the therapeutic grade oils, we find that they often get started and then fall off a little bit along the way. We find that we have to get on calls and we get to coach them and design courses around the effective use and how to even implement essential oils while you're sleeping to impact the nervous system. Now, we decided that we're going to create the masterclass and have it available for free for the next 50 people that want to book in. It's starting in the next 2 weeks on the 11th of the 11th. What you will learn and what are the benefits when you walk away from this class is you'll be able to implement essential oils sooner, faster, understand how to use them, open up the conversation with Audrey. You can ask her directly some of the questions, but you'll get the practical exercises all in a one sitting. And we wanted to make the information available for you for free. Now, if you've missed out on the booking of this particular webinar, well, we'll have the recording available for free inside of our academy. Simply go ahead and press the academy button on the top right-hand side of our website, and you can create a free login. When you create a free login, you get access to our aroma breathing workbook, first of its kind, giving you recordings of breath work and information on essential oils. You'll also be able to watch some of the free webinars and the replays, most importantly, of the webinars that we had available there. All there for you for free. Thank you so much for dialing in. I'll check the comments box in a moment's time from our members. The last few questions that I had for you, Audrey, is, for the listeners that are dialed in here today who may be new to essential oils, what are some practical applications or methods they can use to benefit from the swift movement of these oils through the body?
Yeah, great question. So for those of you that are new to essential oils, and even if you've been using them for a while, here are some of my favorite ways to use essential oils quickly and swiftly. Obviously, the first one being creating a scent tent by dropping essential oil molecules into your hand, rubbing it lightly together and covering your nose and mouth and breathing in deeply and getting all the juicy benefits that way. Remember, they go to the limbic brain within seconds, so you can immediately experience a therapeutic response. The other way is, we talked about our favorite peppermint, right? Especially in summer months, or when you're feeling like you've just need something a little bit more refreshing after you leave the gym. That is a great way to experience how quick essential oils work. I like to put it in a carrier oil and rub it over the muscles, the areas that you've worked out after a gym, and just experience how relaxing and rejuvenating that is, and very cooling. Other favorite ways is just putting into a spray bottle with some witch hazel or some vodka and just making it like a little spray, an aroma spray, and that's like an air conditioner in a bottle. But there's so many other ways to experience quick, swift action of the essential oils, those being two of my favorites. Mm-hmm.
Nice one. So I find that aromatherapy is a popular use of essential oils. Could you explain how the swift movement of essential oil molecules into the air relates to the psychological and emotional benefits of aromatherapy?
Yeah, right. Great question. So how does the swift movement of essential oils in the air relate to the psychological response or the emotional benefits? There's also, by the way, mental benefits. So as we mentioned earlier, it takes mere seconds to reach your emotional part of your brain. And when you can really get the full essence of the essential oil directly to your limbic brain, you're going to experience a calmness, a sense of relaxation, a clarity. And whenever you feel that, you're able to really step aside from all the noise and all the distractions and calm yourself and balance yourself and ground yourself. And it's only when you're in that state of being that you can really think clearly and move through any of your daily challenges in life, right? So when you have emotional balance coupled with even just that sense of just serenity, that's where the magic happens.
In an earlier episode, we spoke about AFT, the aroma freedom technique, and the impacts of it. I've been using it over the last year or two, and it's been phenomenal and fast acting. So that also speaks to the psychological benefits I find.
Absolutely.
Any last thoughts or anything else that we need to share when it comes to speed of delivery?
That's a good question. So, when it comes to speed of delivery of essential oils, oftentimes we are so overwhelmed and stuck with the challenges that we face every day. We're bombarded with information and techniques on how to get ourselves out of our emotional stuck. It takes a lot of resilience, it takes a lot of diligence to even remember to implement those strategies, whether it be like mindset strategies or, you know, like tapping. All these things help to support you emotionally. The beautiful thing about essential oils and how quick they work is they do it on a level below your consciousness. You don't even have to know how they work. They just work. You just have to get it into your body, right? And or onto your body and let it do its magic. And these days with TikTok and everything being fast, I think this has got to be one of the most powerful, speediest modalities when it comes to emotional support.
So, on the last note here, speed of delivery. Essential oil molecules move swiftly and easily. They interact with multiple pathways at the same time to cause rapid change. And you can use this day to day in your lifestyle with your family whenever you need to. Please reach out to us. Thank you again so much for listening to today's podcast, which is episode number 2. We have really enjoyed this conversation. Now, we're also creating a blog for this particular podcast so that everybody can check it out as well and they can read up on it. The title, again, and what we've covered is the speed of delivery with essential oils throughout each system of the human body. Thanks, everybody. This is Tumai signing out.
And this is Audrey. We'll see you on the next one.
Bye now.